Welcome back. Thank you for staying with Nile TV International. You're still watching The Breakfast Show with Dina Hussein and myself, Muhammad Abdurrahim. There is no doubt that the Greco-Roman era in Egypt, which is nearly 1,000 years old, has left many important monuments throughout the country, especially with the observation of historical events that occurred after the end of the ancient Egyptian state. These monuments documented important periods in the history of Egypt, such as the era of Alexander the Great, of course, in the year 332 BC, laying the foundation of the city of Alexandria, and then the establishment of the Ptolemaic rule for about 3 centuries during the period between 323 BC and 30 BC, and then enter Egypt under the Romans for 7 centuries between 30 BC and 641 AD. The Egyptian government has been interested in the restoration of many ancient Greek-Roman archaeological areas, including the inauguration of the Church of Saint Constantine and Saint Helena of the Greek community in Cairo, which was opened by the Minister of Antiquities. Joining us today is Aliki Potonou, and she is the General Coordinator for the Egyptian-Greek-Cypriot relations. Aliki, good morning, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you too. Good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning, Aliki, and let's talk about first the Cypriot community in Egypt, and in particularly the inauguration of the opening ceremony of the Saint Constantine Church and Saint Helena that dates back to 100 years after nearly 2-year complete restoration. How does that signify the importance of your existence here as a community in Egypt? All the respect that Egypt respects the community.
Of course, this is actually renovating the churches is an initiative of our Greek Orthodox Patriarch Theodoros II for Alexandria and all Africa. And he presented his interest for the last years to renovate. It's not the first church that he renovated, and we really appreciate what he's doing, because to establish a community, you need to. A community needs to be surrounded by its entity, like its school, its church, its club, premises in general. So renovating our churches means that this community will last for many more years in the future.
Yes. Aliki, to what extent, in your view, is Egypt indeed keen in the restoration of Greek and Roman antiquities with regard to the distinguished and strong friendship between, of course, Egypt, Greece, and Cyprus?
I really appreciate, actually, I'm not only Greek, I'm Egyptian as well. It's like we are here since my grandfather and my grandmother, of course. I really appreciate the last few years with the presidency of His Excellency President, how he cares for the Greek-Cypriot relation. And I can see that, and I cooperate, actually I cooperate in this since 2011. In this concerns this triangle in many fields. One of them is tourism. And I believe that there is a big booming in the future concerns this relations, the Greek Cypriot Egyptians. You can see many Greeks come back, many more Greeks who never knew Egypt because of the projects that His Excellency the President and the government does, the stability that we have here in Egypt. Many Greeks come and invest in Egypt, and or working as seniors in foreign or Egyptian companies. So there is a future again for the Greeks since they left, and you know, this mythology that we've been kicked out, and this, which is a big lie. It shows and proves that Egypt respects foreign nationalities, and I would say that not the best, but the most close and friendly nationality to Egypt are Greeks.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you feel that, you know, Greek Egyptians are more Egyptian than Egyptians,
Yes,
if
we
we can
are.
say so. I mean,
And
yeah.
they
And yes,
intermingled
yes.
even
Yeah,
in
of
the
course.
Egyptian trades and the culture, the Egyptian
course.
culture. But let's talk about the Greek-Roman antiquities and how they have been, they have carried a good bulk of the antiquities. Quite a good bulk of Greek-Roman antiquities are located around all Egypt. What are the most popular, and how is that being taken by the Egyptian, Egyptians here, that signify your partnership as Greek Romans with the Egyptians?
No need to find antiquities for this partnership. We all know that Alexander the Great, Alexandria has the name of Alexander the Great.
But you invest on these places. I mean, it's becoming sites, and we are renovating it, and we are again working hard to upgrade the places, just as we do with the Egyptian antiquities at the same time. So if you would like to talk about them, elaborate over this particular.
I want to repeat again, thanks to our Greek Orthodox Patriarch. He cares a lot for the churches. It's not the only church that it's renovated. Constantino and Eleni 2 days ago was renovated by a donation of a popular Mrs. Sofianou businesswoman, that is already Greek from Egypt. She left many years ago, and she decided now to give some help. It's not the only thing that she did, and it in cooperation with the Greek community. And I would say that the Greek community started to be more active in renovating, and this is, and I would be happy if they continue doing this. We have St. George Monastery. I came here before and I talked about it. It's in Old Cairo. I think that you should go and visit, and I'm happy to tell you that because of this program, I suggested the meeting, and happened already, with Ministry of Tourism, Engineer Adel Gendi. We had a meeting with our Metropolitan of Memphis in St. George, and it became a part of the path of the Holy Family map. So it can be promoted as well. The monastery can be promoted with many other monasteries and archaeological sites in the touristic map abroad.
Right. Aliki, there are many archaeological discoveries that have been, you know, executed recently, namely a tomb dating back to the 1st and 2nd century AD, containing a staircase engraved in the rock in the archaeological site of Al-Alamein, that has many artifacts, including a collection of coins in addition to many pottery. Now my question is, how important in your view are the new discoveries in attracting European, more European tourists to Egypt? And I'm talking here about discoveries when it comes to Greco-Roman archaeological sites and antiquities and so on.
It's all linked together. I would say that we should concentrate, like my point of view, to concentrate in Europe, in the Balkan countries and Eastern Europe. This area should be invited to come and visit these places. And I found, I believe that the Greek Roman archaeological sites are very important all over the world.
Absolutely.
It's like statistics say that in Greece, of course we have the archaeological in Greece, statistics say that in tourism we had a very active minister, the previous one, and now the recent minister is active as well. We received around 35 million tourists.
Wow.
Although the population of the country of Greece is from 9 to 10 million.
Wow, that's 3.5 tourists per
exactly.
citizen. Wow.
Exactly. Exactly.
Let's talk about the Greco-Roman Museum in Alexandria. To our knowledge, I mean, which is not that much because we need some elaboration from you, that this museum hosts more than 30 galleries, according to the museum screening scenario, which was developed by archaeological committee that was formed to display 20,000 artifacts from the Greek and Roman eras. So how important is that particular museum to you as a community and to the Greek culture? What does
Alexandria is very important to us. And by the way, we have active Greek community in Alexandria as well. And
I think the origins are
from Alexandria.
are in Alexandria, aren't
Yes,
they?
but not only Alexandria, we will all over the Egyptian map.
Sure.
We had in many Greek community. We had in I'm sorry, I forgot. We had in Port Said, we had in Suez, we had many communities.
But they all came from Alexandria, right?
Majority, yes, because of the port. But we had around, I think, 25 communities. So it's important for the Greeks who left and appreciate the visit. So what first they do is visit Alexandria, and of course their children and grandchildren, and Greeks who never came to Egypt, but they heard and they know that Alexandria is considered Greek, so they come and visit it. So such an archaeological museum is very important to Greece. If we announce our heritage, this is very important. We must announce abroad what we do. This is the most important.
You mean promote for
We have to promote it. We announce it here in Egypt and in Arabic. We have to announce it in many languages abroad.
Is that
This is what we're doing here on 9 TV International.
Exactly, but is that announced assigned over or an assignment that is supposed to be done by or carried out by the Greek community or by the Egyptian government and the Greek community?
And the media.
And the media.
All together, of course, all together. And yes, the Greek community, of course, we are considered Egyptians here. We are of course, we are the Greek community, but Egypt is our country as well. You must have no doubts about it.
And why would we even say community? I mean, as you said, you are Egyptians, but Egyptians from Greek origin. So there are Egyptians from Arab origin, from African origin, from different origins, including Egyptians from Greek origin. So why would we even say a community? I personally would say, you know, there are Egyptians from Greek origin. It's as simple as that. Egyptians from Armenian origin.
I cannot argue in this because I'm one of the cases that I am not 100% Greek. My father is Greek and my mother is Egyptian, 100%
from
Egyptians.
Alexandria.
Who? Which one?
Your mother?
No, my mother is from Upper Egypt.
Okay.
Originally, but she was born in Cairo.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, but talking about, since Muhammad have just raised the idea of being an Egyptian from a Greek origin, which was after a long time, because of your long time existence in Egypt, you would totally be an Egyptian, to speak about yourself in an Egyptian manner. But the cultures who have mingled together have created a new essence and a new flavor, which is the Greek-Egyptian culture, which have been very, very popular for years. It started off from Alexandria. Talk to us.
The cinema.
How have that,
the cinema was
and
very
the
popular
food,
in the cinema,
the cuisine of the Greek-Egyptian cuisine, the fashion, the music which you are very popular with your music, you
Yes.
Greek people. How have that mingled with the Egyptian culture and formed a totally trendy one that is not even situated in Greek?
A
It's
special
only in
flavor,
Egypt.
as you said, yeah, Dina. Yeah.
I believe that Greeks here in Egypt are very unique, even for Greeks in Greece. It's like I've been living in Greece for a while, for like 12 years, and you know, I was considered unique, a unique Greek that comes from Egypt. They know that we speak more than one language. They know that we have our schools here were in a higher level, and more educated, more open-minded. You know, it's like because of the transactions that we have with Egyptians and different nationalities that used to live here, like Italians, Armenians, or whatever. So being Greek from Egypt is fantastic, actually. It's like you feel that you are
Must
different.
be, yeah.
Exactly. But for me personally, I don't have a problem saying that I'm Greek or Egyptian. I just don't want to lose my both identities. Very important to me, both identities.
A special flavor, as you said, Dina, and we all remember very well in the cinema, perhaps, because, yeah, it was in the early 1900s and that there was prominence and for Greeks in Egypt, those who became Egyptian from
Yes.
Greek origin, and we saw that portrayed in the black and white color cinema for years, and it did have a very special flavor. And for those lucky enough to have lived in this era, they must have really enjoyed, especially in Alexandria, that beautiful city, one of the most beautiful in the world, I guess. Now, Aliki, archaeological sites, many archaeological sites have been developed and restored here in Egypt recently, including the Greco-Roman Museum. There's also the Museum of Civilization, and the Jewish temple in Alexandria, the palace of Muhammad Ali Pasha, the Pyramids Plateau, the Kazan Palace in Asyut, the Baron Place, and so on, and many others. Again, back to the touristic side of things. The restoration of these key sites, how does it help the vital tourism sector in Egypt? And we all know how tourism is important to the Egyptian economy and to jobs, to creating jobs in Egypt.
If you want to talk about archaeological sites, this is already these places like the museum, I mean Greek-Roman archaeological sites, they are already included in the touristic programs that Egypt promoted. It's since a long time ago. If you talk about the archaeological site, the churches and monasteries, it's very important because we can receive visits by churches. You know, churches make trips abroad, so we can receive, we can promote this and encourage this, these trips of churches from abroad to come here and add the archaeological, the rest of archaeological sites as well. And very important, you know, the areas that has different cultures and different religions, you know, as you said, Jews, mosques, churches, you know, all this. Foreigners should come and see how the real cosmopolitan Egypt, how it was cosmopolitan. And I believe that this will happen.
Right.
It will happen soon.
Yes.
Right. We all know that tourism is part and parcel of investment, and great opportunities are located in tourism, as in the sense of foreign investment, in the sense of investment on touristic sites, on touristic churches. Visiting the important places that has history and that has a specific background, cultural background, like a, let's, for example, talking about the Greek community and the history and the culture of that. So great ideas could emerge when it comes to investing in tourism with the Greek sites in Egypt. If you like to elaborate over this.
I'll repeat again what I said before and what I insisted volunteering to coordinate, and you know, my church honored me with this, Metropolitan Nicodemus and the rest of priests, and of course the government. I repeat again, one of the best projects that we should move on and to work for it is the Path of the Holy Family. Path of the Holy Family starts, Virgin Mary came with Jesus from Jerusalem. They crossed Sinai, then Cairo, then down to Asyut, and came back. It took around 3 years or 3 years and a half trip. It's 25 destinations. In these 25 destinations, because of tourism, to encourage tourism, it needs a lot of work. It will encourage investments as well. You need infrastructure, you need waste management, you need water management resources, construction, you need hotels, small motels, you need rest houses, you need toilets, you need a lot of things. And we have industrial areas as well that we should promote in Upper Egypt. Trading, logistics, from Sinai, shipping, very important. We already signed an MOUs concerning the touristic cruises. So I believe that this is one of the best projects that will help a lot in tourism.
Yes.
And will prove, which is the truth, the real truth, that we don't have such problems in religions.
Absolutely. Tolerance is the one of the main characteristics of Egyptians throughout history. Tolerance, that's the key word. Now, Aliki, tell me, as a general coordinator for the Egyptian-Greek-Cypriot relations, and we understand that part of your job is to coordinate business and trading and investments between these three countries. Talk to us about that.
I really like what I'm doing. I believe I believed since 9 years now that that this trilateral cooperation is going to be happen. I have a lot of supporters from the three countries, businessmen and women, that are interested in this cooperation. Greece and Cyprus is interested to coordinate with Egypt, but they just need the gates, someone to open the gates, and of course with the kind help of the business lobbying that I am surrounded by, chambers, associations. It's like this is what we do. And I believe, especially Egypt and Greece, they are two gates, access to two continents. And this is what I'm always saying, with the marvelous cooperation that our president does with Africa, the African countries, we can consider ourselves as a gate to Africa, Egypt.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And Greece can be a gate to Europe, specifically to the Balkan countries and East Europe. We can coordinate in investments in production. Let's say with the new investment law that we have here in Egypt. It's like you can establish your business without Egyptian partnership. We can coordinate in trading and logistics, which logistics is the logistics centers is the trend now all over the world. We can make it in Egypt and Greece to promote our products.
Shipping activities, cooperation, of course, in the
Definitely.
gas sector, in the oil and gas sector.
Oil and gas sector, I believe, although it's not my field, but I believe that oil and gas sector was a real gate for the rest of investments, because that encouraged the cooperation between the three governments, and of course we work parallel in
Other
other fields in the economy in general.
Right. Let's talk about how have the Egyptian and the Greek community, not the Greek community in particular, developed over years in the sense of cultural background. The Greek music, for example, the Greek culture, it has mingled into the Egyptian community, Egyptian society, and created a new flavor and a new essence that have taken another turn, taken something that is different in its own right. A new type of music that is Egyptian Greek. Them in even in the ideas, in the trades, even the cuisine, the gastronomy, which we're talking about tourism, for example, and other fronts of life. If you like to, as a Greek Egyptian, to elaborate on this in detail, please go ahead.
Many Egyptians, colleagues and friends went to Greece for the last few years, and all of them, when they arrived back, they asked me, Aliki, bring Greek yogurt. We need Greek yogurt.
Of course. It's very popular, very healthy also.
Yes, we need moussaka, which is misa'a. We need the pasticho, which is bechamel. It's like we need restaurants, make us tavernas. They like the music, of course they like the music. It's almost the same. Even if you speak Greek and you listen to the words, it's exactly the same like Egyptians. You know, the majority of
the
songs,
tone. Yeah, the tone.
not only the tone and the words, you know, the painful, I love you, you left me, you know, it's like we both, that's why we love Egypt, because we are the same.
Well, there is, of course, Egypt and Greece are two of the oldest civilizations in the world. That's first of all. Second, there's the Mediterranean, so they say that, like, they have Mediterranean blood. There's, entre parenthèses, something called, you know,
Definitely,
yeah,
yes.
the Mediterranean energy or love for life.
That warm
and so,
energy.
yeah.
And the distance, no big distance. By plane to Greece is 1.5 hours, and to Cyprus 1 hour.
Yeah.
It's as if you go to Sharm el-Sheikh from Cairo.
Yeah. So it's easy for a Greek to come to Egypt and melt. And it's also easy for Egyptians to go to Greece and melt.
Yes.
So and that's why they produce, again, Dina, what you said, I really like it, the flavor. There is some nice flavor about the mingling between Egyptian and Greek cultures.
Yes, and this will encourage, to me, will encourage investments, like Egypt and Greece and Cyprus. Three of them need promoting their investments. So it's easy for any investor, Egyptian investor, if he goes to Greece to invest, he won't care that his family is far, his wife, children, his business. He can, in 1 hour and a half, he can go and come back. 1 hour he goes to Cyprus. And from the two countries, in Egypt, it's nothing. You can go to, you can leave Egypt and come back in the same day. So we are very close. We are very close in everything. We are very close politically. We are
Family
close.
Traditions, I guess, as well. There is a
Same,
family tradition.
same family traditions.
Yeah.
Of course, same family traditions. If you've seen my big fat Greek wedding, if you've seen
Exactly.
but it happens here as well,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Except that maybe we don't break plates.
The plates.
That's what-
I'll make you a special place to break the plates. I promise, my friends.
What's the name of the
Ali-
trend? What's the name of the trend? Breaking the plates.
Uh,
You have a certain name for it?
no certain name. No.
But
That's
the music that accompanies is fantastic. What a
Brings good luck.
It's
Yeah.
usually in the music called bouzoukia, and the places that you go called bouzoukia or calls bouzoukia. Bouzoukia comes from the word bouzouki. Bouzouki is the like
That
oud,
instrument?
the instrument, the Greek instrument.
Right.
Amazing.
Aliki Potonou, it's been fun. Thank you very much, the General Coordinator for the Egyptian-Greek-Cypriot Relations. Thank you for being with us here on 9TV International.
Thank you, to my pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to go to a short break and we'll come back to you, so stay with us.